In March of this year, I live downtown, and in March, we had a gentleman break in Olive Street. At 1:30 in the morning, he was booked. 2:30, he was let out, catch and release. 3:30, he kicked in our door while we were sleeping. Luckily, my husband was home. He took care of that. He responded very quickly because we had a gun. And so we got him out, but he didn't care, probably because he had just been to jail. He walked out, wasn't worried. While the police were at our house, he broke into our neighbor's house. We heard her scream. We found him. At this point, DA did a great job. He's not getting out for at least 11 years. My 6-year-old will be 17 by then. But I want to know, how are you deciding to catch and release? What is your protocol? How do you decide who gets out? Because at any time, I feel like that could have become violent, especially if my husband wasn't home.
That's a very good question. There is a matrix that we have, and it was established in 1993 when we had a court settlement agreement between the county of Shasta and the Shasta County Sheriff. That matrix goes for people that are sentenced misdemeanor crimes, look at getting released first, then sentenced misdemeanors, unsentenced felons, and sentenced felons. The majority of my jail is comprised of unsentenced felons awaiting trial. Then we also look at property crimes, theft of property versus crimes against a person or violent crimes. So in your case, a burglary of a home or the first home, that would be a property crime, and that person was released. We simply do not have the room. Then when he was released, he went out and did that burglary again, and while they were looking for him, he burglarized, I think, the third home nearby, and then he was kept. Those become a priority. Usually, our jail has a maximum rating of 381. With that 90% capacity limit, we're at 343.
I did not do that.
It's not my fault. Time limit was up, I guess. With that, it's 343, and we are always running right now between 88 and 93%. So that means that when someone comes in as a booking, usually someone has to go out. And then that makes it very difficult of who to pick, and they are looking at those ones. We have a hierarchy that we look at within our jail that's presently there. I have over 125 people that are in for either homicide, rape, robbery, and domestic violence. Another set of burglars and thieves, and none of those can get out. And so then it becomes a very small population we can look out to release. On average, there's between 20 and 60 people booked every day at the jail, and we may have between 1 and 6 beds available to incarcerate them. So it becomes a prioritization of those crimes. I also have my staff looking at not only just that crime, which could be relatively minor, not minor if you're the victim, but in minor as in the crime classification, like a property crime, but also look back on that person's previous behavior. Does he have a crime of violence? When was he last arrested? Could it be a few hours before? Could it be a few days before? And to try and keep those people in as long as possible and try to get them in before court to arraign them. That can also be good if they can get to court, because the Shasta County Court and the Shasta County Probation's Office has a program called supervised OR. And then if that person is released under supervision, they could be put on a GPS bracelet or supervision of a probation officer, so that can be successful as well. We don't want to release them any more than anybody else. It frustrates my officers. God bless those classification officers. They have a horrendous job because they have to decide who stays in the jail and who leaves, and they have a stack of folders they have to go through each time, and then they get the phone call from the sheriff at 11 o'clock, hey, you had a booking that I've seen about in the paper, what's the status of that? And it adds a little bit of stress to them as well, because I look at that as well and don't want to see people get out.
Thank you.